Dun 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 dun. 3, 2, 1, let's go! You already know what this is. This is the PS I Love Me show with your host Olmiga, sponsored by Olmiga Enterprises. Which over there somewhere. There you go. Olmiga Enterprises, and we're here to assist people on how to love themselves and empower themselves to be contributors to this beautiful world that we live in. First and foremost, thanks everyone for joining, everyone that's about to come in and talk about certain things. It would be great. What are we doing today? Today we're doing manipulation. Manipulation. Yes. That is the subject of today. And that's what we'll be doing. Schedule live video. Are we live? I hope we're live. If we're not live, then what are we doing, right? You know, what can we possibly do? If we're live and we start the live, manually start the live. Yes, that's where we are. Carla, how you doing? I see you. Yay! Shout out to everyone that taps in and wants to have a fantastic time today. You know, don't be afraid. How do I get into the chat? That's a good question, you know. We try to work on this, see who's here, see who's not, you know, and I appreciate everyone that shows up. This is awesome, you know. How do we do this? Share the chat, try to do this. There you go. Hey, I see you. I see you, Rolo. That's right. I see everybody sitting here. Maralis, how you doing? JT again. Thanks for joining us. Today we have a tremendous show, and it's about that big, huge word that everybody throws around, like if they know what they're talking about, which is manipulation. I am not selling anyone short whatsoever. There are those that know about manipulation because they have been subjected to this trauma, this exercise of negativity. So through experience, people actually read to make sure they get a consensus because they can't figure it out. The person that they're trying to get along with is making life difficult for them, and they catch them on these manipulative tactics, you know, and it's surprising that it takes a lot of abuse and a lot of negative exercising for people to get it. Yes, today I'm in my pimp uniform today, and there's a reason why I'm dressed with this. Stick to the end so I could explain why I'm dressed like this. This is like my, kind of like my flashy pimp, you know, get up. You know, for all those that are tuning in right now, God bless you. And yes, we're going to do this all together. 3, 2, 1, let's go! Let's bring it to light, ladies and gentlemen. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna share our screen. But before we do the video capture, you know, let's do the properties real quick. You know, properties, and you know, we have to pick out exactly which screen we're going to utilize. You know, virtual camera, share web screen. I don't know exactly how we're gonna do this, but we can do this. There is a screen that we can share. Let me cancel that right there. And let me just do this the right way. Properties, we'll bring in the device. It's not really giving me exactly what I want it to do, but that's okay. You know, that's something that I guess I should have done prior. Resolution, device, deactivate. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just share some things with you. I took some notes, and I took the liberty of doing a little bit of research for this. I didn't want to go off the top with this because this is a very serious subject, and some people need some type of you know, like a segue of some sort or some type of consensus, like I said before about this subject. So, you know, let's go ahead and you know, take this for what it really is. You know, let's just do this the right way. So, what is manipulation? Let's talk about manipulation. So, one of those words that is primarily used as a negative form of exercise, or it could be control, or it's the way people behave. It's something that they utilize to get something, to get somewhere, an agenda, a purpose, you know? So where are we at right now? You know, there's a significant number of ways to manipulate someone. We're not going to try to target or compete with all these other words. I'm not going to be able to talk about every single type of manipulation because there are so many types of manipulation. You would be surprised. And we're going to go over some of them today. I'll give you a list of some of the things that I personally have seen and took some notes of. So passive aggressive behavior, right? It's when you know something is wrong and you ask somebody, hey, what's wrong? And they don't want to tell you, and then they shut down and they don't want to talk to you anymore. Implicit threats, saying threats that are, threatening to tell you that they're not going to participate or they're getting turned off. Dishonesty is another one. Withholding information, omission. Isolating a person from loved ones, that's huge. When someone wants to keep you for themselves and they don't allow you to visit your family because they don't want anyone else to be involved with the decision making of your life, What else is there? There's gaslighting. That's a huge thing that's going on, blaming you for the way they feel and a whole bunch of other things that go with that. Verbal abuse. There's use of sex to achieve goals. When you withhold for putting out being intimate with your partner, you use that as leverage. That's no bueno. Okay, so then we're also talking about exaggeration, when you exaggerate certain things. And then there's guilt. When you make someone feel guilty, it's ridiculous. And then you play the victim, and then you're very needy. That's another way of manipulation of the form. False entitlement, when someone they think that they're entitled to something because of the way that someone in the past treated them, they expect everyone to treat them the same. So if they expect people to treat them the same, then they should stay with that person. God forbid it was a parent or someone that lost that treated you like a princess when they should have been teaching you how to be a queen, not to remain a princess and in debt or dependent on something else. You understand? Let's work on that. So what else we got there? Ignoring them. Using children as leverage. We're going to have a show about that. How, people use their children as leverage against the other parent, where the only person that suffers, well, everybody suffers, but the most important person that suffers is who? The kids. Kids, remember, kids did not ask to be here, so let's not blame the kids. They didn't come out of nowhere and say, hey, I want to be born. We did that. So we have to be responsible and accountable for these actions. Manipulators twist the story. They call you things that they are. That's called reflecting. A reflection of themselves. Like, sometimes they tell you things that they want to hear, so they entice you to say things to respond back. But if you react towards them, then it engages in a argument instead of a conversation. You see, there's a big difference between that. Communication is key here. So, what else? Do not like to take accountability. They don't like to take accountability for anything. They don't say sorry. You understand what I'm saying? They rarely apologize. And think about this. If they're not taking accountability for their actions, they most definitely don't want to accept any responsibilities that makes them work harder than they want to work. So you understand that? Pointing fingers. Hey, you. It's your fault. It's you. You make me feel like this. You. You know what I'm saying? So throwing people under the bus is another way of manipulation, because you're talking about usually someone who's not there to defend themselves, and you're putting them in a predicament, someone else to listen to you the way they speak about other people. Trust me, if they're speaking about other people to you, about certain things, they're talking about you to other people. Trust me on this, because you shouldn't be in a relationship where people gossip, because they will be gossiping about you when you're not there. Don't enable people or give them your ear so that they can gossip and talk trash and denounce people and make people feel inferior. Don't allow that. Don't be an ear for that. That's not support. That is no support whatsoever when you are enabling somebody to talk about somebody else. It's uncomfortable, especially if they're ridiculing them and going ham and saying, hey. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Let's be frank about this, man. I'm so happy that you're here, Carla. Thanks for the support. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It really is. And we're gonna continue to do this because this is awesome. So I'm gonna bring the chat down here, and I'm gonna bring it down here. Yes. So there's many more. I'm not here to challenge mental therapists, people that are professional in their field, people that have went to school to identify with these disorders, these syndromes, these tendencies. I'm only speaking from my experience, which is a lot. I've been around a lot of different people, and I myself have used manipulation, but not intentionally. I didn't know that I was part of the problem in the mannerism for me to have control and this power that was absolutely necessary. Now my power comes from within. Has nothing to do with other people. My power isn't here. Like my happiness is in here. Your power and your happiness is here. Sometimes you have to display those things. And sometimes emotionally you can't hold yourself back, especially when you're elated. It's the greatest feeling in the world when you're happy and you bust out crying out of happiness and bust out a laugh. They'll be like, man, where did that come from, man? I've been holding that back, man, because I can't share my laughter because people hate on you. You don't want to do that. Everybody's scared to be themselves and to show feelings. I got news for you. Your feelings are your feelings and nobody can take that from you. What you do and what you say and how you react after those feelings is what makes the character in yourself. You take your happiness with you. You take your power with you. You take your awareness wherever you go. Your strengths and the skills that you absorb and you practice along the line of your life with all the unnecessary things and all the heartaches and all the you know what I'm saying, the troublesome traumas that come through your life. You have to start learning. You have to start have people take accountability for their actions, and then you push them to be responsible from the beginning. Don't be in such a rush to agree to everything because people put you under pressure. That is another way of manipulation. Now, what else can we talk about? That's very exciting, and I will share some of these things because I took my time and I got into a lot of heavy things. Okay, let's talk about. Let me bring this page over here so that it looks like I'm actually looking at the screen a little bit more. I don't want to be rude to you guys. I see. Let's talk about 4 of the broader types of manipulation, and the behaviors have to do with deception, demonstrated inappropriate emotions. You have to be emotionally intelligent, to be the receiver and the giver of this, Attacking you on a personal level. You ever been attacked on a personal level that you this, you that, you're not this, you ain't that, you ain't. Hey, that's all part of manipulation to make you feel bad because they want to make you feel worse than what they feel. So what do they say about misery? Misery needs company. So what's the best way to share an emotion like that? Is to hand it over to somebody else. The thing is that they're just sharing. You have to know that you don't have to take that with you. You're there to support them and try to minimize the damage, Ray, I see you, baby. I see you. I see everybody coming in right now, I love you all. And you know how this works. If I see you, if I don't see anybody on Facebook right now, but oh yes I do. Lillian, how you doing? I see you. I see everybody. And I see people on Twitch too. We everywhere tonight. I am excited. I'm always excited. People say, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me is that there's not enough love. There's not enough happiness in this world, man. And we're caught in the confines of other people's drama and other people's trauma. But we ourselves are engaged by this because we are manipulated. Manipulated, yes. What else can we talk about? We talk about diverting attention. That is deflection, When you try to talk to someone and say, I don't want to talk about this right now. When you try to talk to someone, they go, oh, you know what? Let's talk about it another time. It's never a good enough time to talk to these people because they're always deflecting and shielding and doing their ninja, like electric boogie, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, forget it. It's like they all of a sudden they know how to break dance and they know how to be a ninja. They throw a cloud of smoke and they disappear. And you're like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really good at it because they practice being deceitful. They practice being manipulative. They don't use manipulation for positive things. And believe me, before the end of the show, you will see that you can use manipulation in a positive standpoint. It's not always negative. We're here to teach us how to love each other. And it starts with being aware, Yes, let's get it popping. So what do? Okay, so it's very difficult to deal with manipulators on both sides of the spectrum because you have to be fair about how some of the ways that you are manipulative. The moment that you realize your role and your manipulation tactics towards other people and you start fixing yourself, you start seeing a lot more manipulation from the other people, and then you'll start recognizing that some of these things are not supposed to happen. You can't allow culture to say, oh, that's cultural. We allow those things to happen because I was born that way. Where I came from, this is the way they did things. So yes, listen, we have to start how to do things from scratch. You have your own household, you have your own family, you got grandchildren coming in, you got so much flux, so much moving parts. People say we don't have time to deal with certain things. Well, guess what? If you don't have time to learn and deal with certain things, these certain things do not get fixed. These certain things do not get better. They get worse. And they will have you stagnant. You will not be able to work with these things because they will keep you at a very slow pace where it seems like you're moving, but you're really not, you know? In this program, we find successful ways to install positive in everything, to give a different perspective and to motivate you. And it's another form of manipulation. I'm trying to manipulate people into thinking in a positive way. I'm trying to give you examples just like they would if they were manipulating you in a negative way, which they would give you false information. But rather than give you false information, I feed you with truth, facts. I feed you information that has been processed from data, and now that you're putting it into effect, you're utilizing this information and we're bettering our lives, and we're not going to let anyone tell us what to do, especially if they don't know what they're talking about. It's okay to look up words. It's okay when somebody tells you something and you disagree with them, but it's not okay for you to argue with them until you get your facts straight. Bring it back in another conversation. The other day you said something and it didn't make any sense. And I looked it up, and I hate to tell you, actually you shouldn't hate to tell anyone something. I have to tell you that you're wrong. Now, if this person is not worth the conversation, then why are you even around this person? It doesn't matter who it is. If you can't have a conversation with people, then why are you spending time with them? All they're going to do is make your life miserable. The most successful relationships on earth either don't talk or talk correctly. Pick your poison. You understand? Either talk as less as you can because things turn into things, but you should feel comfortable communicating with people and expressing yourself. It's part of the emotional valuation. It's part of releasing, expressing yourself. We've talked about that in many shows. So in a nutshell, let's talk about manipulation. What is exactly manipulation? I think it's an action of manipulating something in a skillful manner. Now, think about this. I want to explain two different types of manipulation. If you're looking at, let's say, if you're looking at a product like brands, watch this. And the other side of manipulation is manipulating someone in a clever or an unscrupulous way. We're going to look at those two words. In a clever, or, the word is or, that makes a difference. It's not and. Either you're doing something in a clever way or you're doing something in an unscrupulous way. So let's go back to the beginning. The action of manipulating something in a skillful manner pertains to an object. It's an object. It's an inanimate object, something that you control. A hammer, a nail. You can make a nail bend, but the nail won't bend itself. It needs your assistance in order for it to change either its form, its direction, or its course. This is like when you're buffering the floor, making it shiny and all that. You're controlling the machine. You're controlling with the machine, unless it's automatic, and still somebody still has to program this machine to do that, to manipulate it to work at its best. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Work with me on this, people. Work with me, because this is pretty good. I see you, Jen Boogie. Let's go! That's how we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere, and I'm not afraid, baby. Let's get it. All right, so back to the heart of the matter here. You can manipulate an object. You can throw it, right? You can throw it, you can push it, you can make it work, and then you can take that and you can do the same thing with a person. Here's one of the problems. I need you to pay attention. When I do my other podcast and it goes bing, now's the time to pay attention. Yes, that's my voice. So the action of manipulating someone in a clever or unscrupulous way. So wait a minute. What's a clever person? Do we know what a clever person is? Let's go. I looked it up. It says someone who is clever is intelligent and able to understand things clearly and easily and plan things well. So you plan things well. Things come to you very easy. You have a certain sense of intelligence that things come to you. You don't let other things distract you. You don't try to take credit for what's happening. You absorb what you can before you even react or you say something. You show prudence. A clever person is a person not just a witty person, a quick-witted person. It says it right here. An intelligent person that's able to understand. Have you ever met someone that they're good at everything and you get mad at them because you struggle with certain things? You're like, man, you're good at everything. I heard that in the past about myself, and I have felt that against other people as well. So the feeling is mutual, and that's what we have to do. We have to create a balance. As much, don't you hate it when people are on you and they say, you, and then when they finish, it's your turn to say it, and then they have an excuse. You can sit there and listen to every word that they say, but the moment that it comes for you to say something about them, they run for the hills because all they wanted to do was get their piece out, but they're not willing to listen about themselves. Most people that are opinionated, most people that are judgmental, and I don't mean that, I mean it's more than regular judgment, more than regular criticism. You know the people that walk in a store and immediately find something wrong with everybody? You know the people that are constantly complaining? We're talking about those people right there. The people that want to bring this energy to you, because when people share energy, negative energy, they are also manipulating you. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You better get that straight, you know? So let's talk about unscrupulous. Unscrupulous. So they make things so difficult when they explain these things. A unscrupulous person is a person that is, all right, so let's talk about a scrupulous person. A person is always avoiding bad things. That's a scrupulous. Their scruples are correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're concerned with, they want to be with people that are diligent, that they're thorough, that they also pay attention to detail. That's a scrupulous person. They look at the small things. You know, they care a lot more than other people. You know, these are people that do things with integrity. You can trust them. These are people that are honest. These are people that are fair. You know, these are very rare people to find. If you have people like this in your life, do your best to keep these people around, because you need these people. Because most of the times we get rid of what's good for us, and then because we want the attention of the people that don't acknowledge us for some reason or another, we feel horrible when the people with specific people in our life that we want to be noticed, we want them to say, hey, you're doing a good job, you want us to pat us in the back. We're never going to get it. And the moment that you realize that and you give yourself what you're not getting from people that will never give it to you because they know that you want it. They know that you want it. Why would they give you that leverage? Why would they make you feel better than them? Why? When good people, all they do is say, hey man, you're doing a great job. Don't worry about what anybody else says. You know? Usually people would say, I keep it real. No, you suck. You know, you're not doing well. Okay, fine. You suck at that. Do you suck at everything? No. You make general comments about people, but you're not specific about what the situation is, and there's no solving problems whatsoever. Ding, 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 bang. Let's go. So a scrupulous person is a person who's, you know, like I said, it's a good person. It's a good person. And an unscrupulous person, you know, we talk about fairness, you know, and what does it take to be fair? And people think that 50-50 means fair, that I'm going to do for you what you do for me. It may seem fair to you, but it may not be what the other person needs. Let's talk about needs. When you're being fair about something, if I go to you and I say, let me borrow $20, most people wait for the opportunity or time to go by so that they can go back to the person and test them. Can I now borrow $20 from you? And they say, I don't have it. But wait a minute, I was there for you. Yeah, because I needed it. Do you actually need the $20, or are you just testing them? Stop wasting your time with these tests. The true tests come as a testament of trust, will, and decision making. How are you going to go to someone to ask for something that they needed from you? If they came to you, it's because they don't have it or they're having problems with it. Find something else for them to be useful or add value to your life. Don't ask them for the same thing because you're reciprocating the same. Now you're both playing broke. That doesn't make any sense. Figure out something else that you can get for them, because what are you saying? That the only thing that they're worth is the $20 that you lend them? Is there not something else that this person can offer you in lieu of money or something else? Let's go! Think about what I'm telling you. You know, let's do things right, you know? Okay, so when we manipulate, think about this. It's okay to manipulate, but if you're manipulating like motivating someone, or you're manipulating someone to change their perspective because they might be in a dark place. So you give them some analogies and some food for thought, you know. But you cannot treat people like the objects that we control. You cannot treat people like objects, and you cannot treat objects like people. If you're expecting, some people actually wait for emotions and wait for inanimate objects to either talk to them or respond to them. And now that technology is responding back. Hey Siri, do you love me? Got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't always work. So when we look to push somebody's buttons or to treat someone like a tool, like a hammer, like a drill, like a hair dryer, like a brush, that's what we mess up, because we expect people to react like inanimate objects, like if they don't have feelings, like if they can't say something or tell you that they're uncomfortable with something. We always expect things to go smoothly. Like, I got the perfect plan. It's going to go like this, like this, like this, until you tell someone the plan and they tell you, well, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know what. Oh, no, now the whole plan goes to crap. Why? Because you weren't responsible enough to include them like a human. You included them like a tool. So you made all these plans and preparations without consulting with them. And we need to consult with the other half or the other person that's in this relationship with yourself. Unless you plan to be alone for the rest of your life, you know, get it straight. Don't treat people like objects, and don't treat objects like people. You got it backwards. Let's untie that knot and let's get things straight. You understand what I'm saying? Handle or control, you know, a typical, when you handle or control something in a skillful manner, that's what we're talking about, like as a tool, you know. And again, you also want to control people, you know, and unfairly. You can't be unfair with the way that you treat people. People say, treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, the expectation would be that if you treat someone a certain way, that they would treat you back. You can't do that either, because the human factor is unpredictable. Why would you want to be with someone who's predictable? Why don't you want to be with someone that's human, that can actually give you some type of human emotion feedback instead of the same monotone or the same robotic responses? You want to be with a robot? You want to be into virtual reality? You want to be into NFTs and the meta world all your life? Then be my guest. I'm not ready to be in the Jetsons yet. I still like intimacy. I still like talking to people. I like conversations. I don't even like text as much as I like talking to people and being in front of people. Even if it's a Zoom meeting, I appreciate that, you know? So think about the things that I'm trying to tell you. You know, they're not as difficult. Theodore, I see you, baby. You already know. I see you in there. We working. Jenny, thank you so much. I see that you did some things there. I love it. She lights up the place, and I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some words that are similar to manipulation, so that you can see that we're in the same ballpark. You know, when you exploit something, control something, influence something, maneuver something, engineer something, steer, direct, guide, work, orchestrate, or choreograph. These are all synonyms to manipulation. It's making someone move. If you are a boss in a company and you're a charismatic leader, when you empower people and make them feel good, your employees produce more. So when you make your employees feel good, they feel like working harder, they feel like doing more, they feel like contributing, they feel like they're a part of a family, they feel like they're a part of something. So you get more production from people when you empower them. That is a form of manipulation. It is a positive enforcement. It is and something that brings people up. It elevates their interest. It makes them feel like they have a purpose. Trust me on this. I studied this for a very long time, you know? And the reason why I say this is because you have to understand that machinery on people are different. You know, right now it's scary how they have these AI things going on that resemble humans, and they might be taking the place of humans. I don't think they will ever be able to take the place of humans, because the human nature is so random that it's really unpredictable. You know, again, why would you want to be in a situation that's predictable? Because it's easy. Are we looking for the easy way out, or are we here to solve problems? What does the PS and PS I Love Me stand for? Stands for problem solving, you know, for crying out loud. Let's do this all together, can we? Right? Okay, yes, but you want people who are on the same page as you. Yes, we all want people that are on the same page as me, but do we want people to be identical? Why? If we have the same flaws, we're not going to learn. We're just going to find ways to justify our negatives. But if you have someone that's continuously telling you, hey, you're wrong about that, that's not right, and then you go to somebody else and they tell you, I don't agree with that, and you keep looking for someone to agree with you, then you're being too stubborn to agree with what the reality is, which is you're wrong. You're going to keep looking for someone to agree with you when you should be agreeing with what's right. That's the difference between an argument and a discussion. An argument is to figure out who's right and who's wrong. And a discussion is what's right. You understand? We talked about that for 2 weeks in a row. We're going to continue to adapt that type of mentality. So yes, I definitely see what you're saying, Theodore, about that. And I appreciate that comment. That was awesome. Let's keep it going. This is also a very important factor in relationship maintenance. Like I said, I can't wait for that topic to come out because there's going to be a lot of hurt people after that one because I'm going to keep it to the max. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to pull any punches when it comes to relationship maintenance. So get ready, That's right, Michael Jet, que viva la Latinos, my brother Michael Jet. That is the famous Mike with the guitar who made one of my videos with me, and he talked about how white people stole black people's music. He said it, not me, but I agree with him 100%. He's a great financial advice guy. Big up to you, Mr. Jet. Love ya. Let's go. All right, so again, relationship maintenance, a big factor in that is manipulation. Manipulative people stress you out in the long run, and some will go through great lengths just to get what they want. And they hide their agendas very well, What we have to do is stop being in a rush, like I said earlier, to make promises. Manipulative people try to get you off your equilibrium. They try to get you off balance to get something from you without you paying attention. So they'll come at you in a real hysteria, or they'll come at you the dramatic, and they'll throw something at you, and right away you're volunteering your services to them. Why? Because you are being manipulated through the drama, through the guilt. And then they have these faces, oh my God, and the moment that you agree to something, they feel so relaxed. All their problems are solved. Why? Because they didn't want to do it. They got you to do it. They got somebody else to do it. You understand? And you fell for it. Give yourself a couple of seconds before you agree to do or promise something. That has been one of my problems for a long time. I would say, yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. I got it. And you do a lot of I got it, and you do a lot of I'll get to it, and then by the time you know it, you're swamped, you're overwhelmed, and now you're stressed out because you want to help the world, but you should be helping people, assisting them, not enabling them or doing things for them. Like, you should not do anything for anybody. You understand? Absolutely. Well, set the bar low from the beginning. Well, in some cases, yes. In some cases, no, Mr. Jet. The bar has to be set based on the situation that's at hand. You might have to elevate the bar in certain cases, and sometimes you have to bring the bar down because it's too high. Your stipulations don't cover the amount of people that you want to be around. If you want high, super high standards, then you have to understand that you're not going to have a lot of friends that fulfill this contractual obligation to be in a relationship. But if you lessen it down a little bit, you'll be more exposed to some people because you'll be able. Think about this. If you are judging someone based on what you or don't want to handle, that's not fair. Because in life, there are things that you have to handle. So if you're avoiding handling the majority of things in your life, I don't want to be around you. I want a person that's self-assertive. I want a person that's autonomous. I want to be around people that we solving problems together. I'm not coming to solve your problem. If I walk into your house and you tell me some bull crap, and I tell you, hey, come on, man, if you wanted to see me and wanted to talk to me, there was a lot of other ways to get me out of the house instead of come see you. That's just a personal joke for some people. They know what I'm talking about, Hey, Sin, how you doing, my love? Bring it, you know how we do. And we're talking about manipulation, man. This is a very, very tough subject for some people to talk about. It's not hard for me because I was one of the most manipulative people on earth. And I also was a victim of manipulation till this day. I still feel the effects of the manipulation. Am I being manipulated like I was before? No, you live and you learn. You allow people to come and do these things into your life, So think about this. Don't be so quick to share your visions. People cannot see your vision. They will manipulate you and tell you something like, oh, did you think about this? But you think about that. Why? To distract you from doing something that they didn't think of, because that is just like quick hatred, quick envy, quick hate. Think about what I'm saying. Don't be so quick to talk about things until it's already on the road or you're already there. Because what you're going to do is bring in negative energy that you don't need. Think about this. Why would you share something with someone? Why? Because you want somebody to congratulate you? No, you should be explaining this to people that can help you, that will process these thoughts, that have the experience in whatever it is that you're doing. You might want to talk to someone this is in their wheelhouse. This is their professionalism. This is what they do, is what they get paid to do. Usually it's family members or the people that are closest to you that will hate on you for your visions. They don't see it because they see it as they should have done it. So they can't be happy for you because they're not happy for themselves. Be very careful who you share things with, Always think twice before you take on extra work, saying don't be so quick to jump on an opportunity when it comes, Take a breath. If you already promised something, then keep your word. That is a form of integrity that we all must live by. You understand? We all must live by the things you say. And if you don't want to do the things you say, you mad that you said something and you really don't want to do it, then stop talking. Get it over with. Get those things that you've promised people and that you told people that you're going to do out of the way. Then stop taking on responsibility. Learn how to say no. Learn how to say, I'm not with that. And let a person just wail away. Bang. You know what I'm saying? Let them keep on. And then you're just there. And then they will notice how wrong they really are. If you don't react. Don't give them reason to continue. Just don't stay there and just say, are you done? These people get really upset because they have a lot to say. And when you concede to them, they have nothing to offer you in return. They have nothing that they can do in order to match your level of humbleness. They're wailing away and you go, okay, you're right. Let's do it your way. What can we do different from now on? They'll still have that energy and their motors going. They're still going. And you're like, hey, I just told you that we can find a way. I apologize for what I did. What can we do moving forward? And they're still like, what do you mean that you're so cool, calm, and collective while I'm over here flipping out? You're the one who made me this way. Manipulation. It's just manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. It's a tactic that people use in order to get what they want. And they use a lot of forms to throw smoke and make you believe that it's something else. And they'll try different tactics. For some people, they're very smart. They use the victim for certain people, and they know that victim stuff does not work for other people. So they fluctuate who they use. Look at how smart they are. Smart enough to solve problems for their agendas, but not smart enough to work in a consensus with somebody else to try to solve a problem mutually and eliminate it, eradicate it from existing. No, they rather continue to feel good about how they manipulated you or got you to do the things that they wanted you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's right. We're not supposed to let people grind our gears, Theodore. We're not supposed to. But you know what? It happens to the best of us. We all lose our cool, but we just can't lose and get into a rage. Or we can't let people push us into a depression state. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry or upset. But it's not okay to be super angry and rage. Like once you pass the upset stage and you start feeling tight and hot, you got to walk away. You can't allow yourself to go into the next level because then you lose. Regardless if you was right or you had the right point or not, the moment that you react in a way where you're flustered and you start cursing and you start raising the volume and your tone of voice changes and your demeanor and your attitude changes, you lost. Doesn't matter how well put your argument was. Character is everything. Hold your character and you don't even have to be right. At least you're right, or at least you're wrong about what the topic is, but you didn't add all that extra to make it awkward now. Now you got to unwrap all that mummy tape that you put on. Now you got to unwrap it. Whoop. And it's hard to unwrap it because you see all the things that were said. You see all the things they would do. And you live with regret. You understand? Yeah, they learn to push our damn buttons. And they get good at it. You know why? Because we allow them to push our buttons. We cannot allow them to push our buttons unless we create new buttons where when they try to get us upset, we reroute it. We manipulate our feelings, which is called emotional intelligence, to feel something different because we already know what they're after. We're not going to give it to them. So by getting upset and by letting them push our buttons, we are conceding to the manipulation. Who says that we have to agree or concede to the manipulation? Come on. Now, if it's something cute and someone's trying to get you to do something and it's harmless and it's not really manipulation. It's trying to get something from you. There's cuteness to that. But when someone constantly tries to manipulate you for everything that they need and they're a very needy person, you're dealing with someone who is absolutely difficult, you know? Thank you. I appreciate that. What else are we going to do? Now, let's talk about our parents. You know, our parents can manipulate us, but usually it's to impose their strong opinions, to continue to have influence on us and control our actions. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a way for them to interfere in our private life. You know, for them to be recognized, for them to show, hey, you know what? I'll show you who's boss. I still got it. I could get to my son. I could get to my daughter. They do this all the time. Pay attention to these things. It's better to just pay attention and see it, and then you will not get angry. We get angry because we fell for it. Remember what I told you? Don't fall in love. Don't fall for anything. When you fall for something, that is the worst thing that you could do because you allow someone to engage you in something that you didn't want to be in or for a false premise. Think about what I'm telling you. Don't fall for anything. We get mad because we fell for it and then we flip. We're like, can't believe that I let this happen. I can't believe that I let this person do this to me. You know what I'm saying? Think about what I'm telling you. Think about what I'm telling you. We get mad at ourselves and we display it in the wrong way. What we need to do is catch our conscious and our subconscious and make them work together and say, you know what? You're not going to do this to me again. But the thing is that we end up looking for this the next time and we end up being biased. And then when they know that you're looking for it, they hold back and they go, I'm not going to do anything sneaky because I'm going to wait until he's not paying attention. How smart is that they know when to try to manipulate you? Some people don't even care. They continue to manipulate you regardless if you're upset or you're onto them because they don't care. That's the only way, a form of communication that they know sometimes. Voila! Of course we are still mad. Of course we're still angry because but for how long? To whose benefit? Why would we continue to be angry? We're taking away from our precious life. Life is short. If you're going to be angry, then life is going to be shorter because you're going to remember bad times and all the times where you should have been happy. Success is happy. Success is peace. If you're not at peace, it's because you're doing something or feeling something that you don't want to do or you don't want to feel. Ask yourself if it's something that's necessary because then you're being immature. If it's something that's necessary and you need, then you need to associate your wants with your needs and put them together. Two birds in a hand, right? A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Or do one, let's see, take care of two things with one rock, or however the phrase goes, multitask. If you multitask with your wants and your needs and you put them together, then there's one less thing you have to do because you just merge them together. So if you want your needs and you need your wants, then you end up appreciating the things you do. You pat yourself in the back. And I told you before that your emotions of positivity and motivation, you take them with you. This is not a place where you go. It's not. If you have to go to a place to be happy, then you should live there, or you should incorporate whatever it is that makes you happy in your household, because that is your environment. So, if you love to fish, and that's one of your big things, then why would you live in a place where you don't fish? You are taking away some of the things that you love. If you're a bowler, if you're a biker, if you're an exerciser, if you like to eat clay, Play-Doh, I don't care if you like to eat hats, if you like to smell socks, whatever it is that you like to do, you need to incorporate those things in your household. But then some people have hidden lives, you know what I'm saying, where they have to go outside their house to enjoy it because it's not allowed in the environment or in the relationship that they're in, so to speak. You got to pay attention to these things, man. Why would you subject yourself to live a lie? Why would you bond with someone and be with someone if you can't be yourself? If they don't accept you for who you are, all you're going to do is get upset because you're going to be uncomfortable and it shows. You're not going to be able to hide this for long. It's going to be frustrating and it's going to mount and it's going to turn into something that's going to be impossible to deal with later. Foundation is for the future, not for the now. And it has nothing to do with the past. Foundation is a catapult to the future. It is not a place where you linger and stay undecided. Okay? Do we extend an olive branch or keep them at bay? Every situation is different. You treat everyone differently. Okay? Now, if somebody has a lot of strikes against them, then they're in more of a fragile situation in your relationship. And I'm talking about every kind of relationship. If you've already given them chances and you let them get away with it without coming back with some type of difference and some type of growth or some type of an incentive, then it's not worth it because it's going to be repeated behavior. It's going to be a consensus with consistent negative behavior. And that's what manipulation is. We manipulate ourselves, excuse me, into believing things for our comfort levels. I told you before that we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That way things are not extra stressing. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Here's another thing. We got to learn how to love ourselves inside and out. We have to be able to be aware of the things and manipulation because it's important. We don't want to be tricked because when we get tricked into something, it feels horrible. We've tricked people into things. We've all done it. We are all guilty. I don't care what church you went to. I don't care what God you pray to. I don't care what you've been. I don't care how honest you say. We've all manipulated or tried to manipulate people in one way, shape, or form. Just like it has happened to us. But we think more about the ways that people were dishonest and tried to trick us as opposed to the ways that we try to trick them. The same way that we're learning these manipulative tactics and ways that they use it against us, we have to look at this as to what are we doing to other people? Look a little bit closer to your behavior and what you're dishing out. Why don't we even go deeper than that and let's look at ourselves and look how we manipulate ourselves. We force ourselves to believe things that aren't true. There are people that are not in a relationship, but they still think they're in a relationship, and there's only one person that feels that they are in the relationship and the other person has honestly moved on. You trick yourself into feeling delusional. I can't wait for relationship maintenance. You know? You never let no one tell you what family is and what makes a happy family. Or people that have earned the right to continue to be in your family. Because family, trust, and love are action words. And if you're not doing the right actions and you're not doing something physical where you are displaying your trust, your love, not that you worship someone, but you value them, then you might lose them. And some people don't give you 3 strikes. Some people give you 1 strike because their tolerance level is so low because of their past experiences that right away they're like, red flag, I'm out of here. Let's go. Now, hopefully the person that's looking for those red flags and very sensitive to these things are also looking for the green flags that come with it. Yes, there's green and red flags, okay? But let's always balance. If you're always looking for negative things, then you're being biased and you will never see the positive things in life. Don't let the negative things block the positive things in life. Share them, balance them. Don't block the red flags, but don't block the green flags by just concentrating on the red flags. Maybe you might want to do that in reverse. You might want to concentrate more on the green flags and lessen the burden of the red flags, because if you have a lot more positive than negatives, then at least the leverage is on the positive side. You understand what I'm saying? It's up to a person what they're willing to take and not take, you know? Think about it. It is up to everybody on how they deal with these situations on their own as an individual and as an individual incident. Not everything is an incident. Not everything is a situation. But whatever is happening is how you deal with this, you know? You can end a relationship with someone, even if they're family, the moment that they start undervaluing you. The moment that they start devaluating you, undervaluating you, or when they stop treating you the way you want to be treated, and when you start feeling used, you can start raising those eyebrows like The Rock, and you can start opening your eyes too, because some people raise their eyebrows, but they don't open their eyes. Do the whole thing. Open your eyes and raise your eyebrows, because if you're only raising your eyebrows, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not being aware. So let's use, if it smells wrong, if it tastes wrong, if it feels wrong, if it looks wrong, hey, it has to be something wrong with it. So let's try to find out what's wrong instead of pointing fingers. And you could be scaring someone out of a conversation and making them feel defensive because you feel a certain way. Let's not be so quick to be so hasty. Let's not attack people because we put people in their defense, you know, like, and like, yo, what's up, son? You know, think about it. Another form of manipulation is when people try to blame you for their mistakes. Bum, ba-dum, bum. And they're mad at you for getting some, you know, they're mad at you. They're mad at you because you get things right. There are people that get mad at you because you do things right. I'm like, what? You mad at me because I do things right? Like, okay, we said that earlier in the show. You could get mad at me for doing things right, but I can't get mad at you for doing things wrong. First of all, no one should get mad for an action if it was a mistake. If it was a mistake, let them learn from their mistake. But again, how many times does someone have to do the same behavior before it's not a mistake anymore? You know, once, twice, you know, you did the same mistake 3 or 4 times. And the truth is that we can't sit around and wait for you to get it together. You know, it's time for you to have a sense of urgency that if you love someone and you're comfortable with certain people in your lives and you don't want to lose them, if you make mistakes, show some sense of urgency. Get that hustle going. Don't do the same nonchalant thing that you did the first 2 times when you make the mistake. Oh, here we go again. You know, we did a mistake and I'm going to take my time. No. You know, let's go. When you're wrong and you do things more than once, you have to put pep in your step and you have to put a sense of urgency to show the other person that you mean business. Because if you keep taking the same nonchalant approach to this person, they're not going to believe you. Let's go. It is not your responsibility for someone else's failures. You don't have to take the blame for somebody else's failures, and you don't have to take the accountability for somebody else's failures. Let them take accountability. Stop cleaning their messes up. Stop cleaning up other people's messes. Clean up your messes. Oh, you don't have any messes? You need messes to clean? So you either invent messes or you look for people that have messes because you want to feel like you're a savior of some kind? Yeah. So that's why problem solvers get with people that have problems, because they want to feel relevant. That's why problem solvers and overthinkers can't sleep, because they want to solve a problem. They can't go to bed without solving a problem. Do you see the relationship here? Do you see how that works? Do you see how this hurts your character, you know? That's right. Own up to your idiosyncrasies. Good word, brother. I only deal with smart people on the show. It's getting a little hot, and I don't want to show no chest hairs. I don't want nobody to get excited. Wepa, you know. But it is what it is, you know. And we talked about that. And it is what it is. It's accepting things for what they are, and it's time to move on. Let's call it what it's supposed to be called, you know. But we're not taking responsibility or accountability for other people's actions. We're not. Do you realize that sometimes you don't get invited to places because of the way you act? Like, why wasn't I invited? I want you to know something, that if you wasn't invited to a certain place, it's because they didn't think it was worth you being there. But it's not for you to get upset. It might be a time for you to look at yourself and say, wow, what could I have done? You know, and then it's a good time for you to ask someone after everything is said and done. You know, hey, you know what? I am a little offended that I wasn't invited to a certain place. Can you tell me why? And it might be something that you may not think it is. You don't give people a chance to explain things to you. You know, maybe it was a short engagement. You know, like hey, how are you not going to invite me? Am I not important? I mean, I'm only inviting 5 people. Oh, and I'm not one of the 5? I mean, yeah, you know, me, my wife, and my kids seem to be the most important in my people's life. I'm not going to invite you in front of my kids. I'm not going to invite you in front of my mother. I'm not going to invite you in front of certain people that earn the right, that are in my life on a daily basis, for a person that comes to my life once in a while and thinks that you are the hottest thing on earth and need to be invited to a place. Check yourself. Learn something about yourself. You might be right, you might be wrong. They might have gotten hold of some information from somebody else to depict you as somebody that you're not. They shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be around people that take other people's words for it, because you are entitled to defend yourself if you want to or not. It should be a choice, especially if they're pushing false information about you, you know? Think about that. That's really ridiculous way of looking at things, you know? Like, don't run from problems like the cow does in a storm. You know, run to the problems like the bull. Like we talked about this. A bull runs to the storm because you have a better chance getting to the center of the storm than a cow that runs away and is looking for cover. You're going to get sweat, man. And guess what? Going to have a lot of beef. Was that a joke? It could be. We never know. After all, why do we want to absorb more negative energy by taking accountability or responsibility for somebody else's actions? No, man. If I know, first of all, I don't want to be around people that act up. But there are some people that, under the influence of alcohol or in certain situations, that they act up because they're traumatized or they go through whatever issues that they go through. You can invite certain people to certain places. But think about it. You actually have people in your life that you can't invite to certain places because they don't know how to be humble or how to be in a respectful fashion. You are around people that don't know how to hold their character well. The experiences tell you that you can't invite certain people because they embarrass you, man. They make you feel, they make you feel like you're a bad judgment of character because you bring drama and bad business to a situation. Like, hey, why you never invite me to certain places? I tell people the truth. I say, because you don't know how to act. What do you mean I don't know how to act? Do I have to spell it out for you? You remember the last time where you went to the kitchen and grabbed the kitchen knife and you wanted to stab everybody? Or the day that you was drinking and you called everybody derogatory names and you told everybody how you didn't really care? Think about this. People that are under the influence are going to use that excuse and say, I don't remember what I did. Don't believe the hype. The only time you don't believe things is when you black out. When you black out, it's when you're walking like this. Look. You know what I'm saying? But before that, when you're having fun and you're having a great time, you remember all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't let nobody manipulate you into telling you that they don't remember half the stuff. There's a lot of stuff they don't remember, but they remember how it started, how they get there. All you got to do is say a couple of things and they go, oh yeah, dum, da-dum, dum. You understand? You don't need to run an investigation. And always get witnesses, man. Always get witnesses when people act up. Because they're going to tell you that it's you that's inventing it. But if there's somebody else that was there, they can't really fight it. So yes, get a witness, man. Please. Videotape it. We're in the era where we could videotape everything, right? So videotape it, Now, here's another thing. A manipulator will try to convince you what is more important in your life. Instead of someone who is interested, that will ask you about your past and use it to help you as opposed to using your past against you. That is a manipulator. That is not a good person to be around. If you happen to bring baggage from another relationship or from your past, and you happen to be lucky to find someone that's willing to help you confront and find closure in the things that you are holding on to, you are surrounded with a good person. But if you have a person that you explain your past, and they start making fun of you, and they start making you feel bad, and they use your past against you, don't trust this person. Don't be around this person. The person is not there to help you. The person is there to manipulate you and control you. And they will use your weakness against you, and they will have you slaving for them. Trust me, I've been through this on both sides of the spectrum, There was a doctor once that used to put people in a sedated state, almost near death or actual death, where they would flatline. And then they would come in and act like they're saving the patient because they felt like they needed to save people. So they manipulated the situation to look as though they were saving people, but in reality they were killing people and then acting like a hero. That is a very strong and delusional way of manipulation, and to make things seem like something that they're actually not. Think about this. This is really wild stuff, what I'm telling you, you know? So think about this. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's an old cliche. So is that a form of manipulation too? Leading the horse to water? You have to manipulate them. You have to kind of control them. You have to direct them. You have to expose them. You have to exploit them. You have to take them to where they go. And no matter what you do, you could put people in the position to win, and they still won't pull the trigger. They still won't do it because they'll look at it as, this is not my idea, this is yours. Even though you know that it's good for them, they won't do it because they'll say, it didn't come out of me. Oh, it didn't come out of you, but it had to come out of something else because it's not coming out of you. I gave you a gift. Don't stand there and look for reasons not to take that leap of faith. Don't stand there and procrastinate. That's not the time. The opportunity has come for someone to actually help you, but you want to be enabled. You want somebody to do it for you. They got you to this place. Do you want us to drink the water too? What is it? You think the water's poison? Or you feel like you're not enough, that you should have guided yourself? Because now you're not kicking nobody in the butt, you're kicking yourself in the butt for something that you didn't do. So now you're yourself like, oh, I didn't do it, so I don't feel well. You know, I can. At least you know that you can because you're here. And the next time you will be able to do things independently or autonomously. Go ahead and take the leap of faith. So you're going to start all over and wait for you to motivate yourself when you couldn't do it in the first place? That could be the beginning of your motivation. Think about what I'm telling you, you know? Narcissistic people, master manipulators. Absolutely. Narcissistic people are a lot more darker than manipulators. Manipulators come in all shapes and sizes. Narcissistic is a very, very, very dark and high-end manipulative. They are control freaks. They are self-centered. They lack empathy. They don't know how to share certain things. They always think of themselves first. So narcissism is more of a self-centered manipulation, but manipulation comes in all forms. And that's what we're talking about here, so that we can understand this and be aware of how people manipulate us. Where we at? 9:05? Hey, that's not bad. We still got about a few, about 10 or 20 minutes left. Stick with me. Stick with me. I'm going to tell you why I'm wearing this, why I'm wearing my pimp uniform, Not that I'm a pimp. I never been a pimp. I don't agree with pimping, but hey, to each his own. If that's how you do your things, then congratulations to those, Okay, so think about this. So feeling trapped, some people want you to feel trapped. They manipulate you into feeling that you don't have any other options. They try to make you believe that you don't have no other choice. There's no other recourse. They put themselves in front of you as though you have to go through them in order to obtain any type of liberty or any type of independence in life. What they're forcing you to do is to be dependent on them. So they put themselves in the front line on the radar for you to see that wherever direction you go, you have to go through them first. That is a form of manipulation. It's almost like you have to ask them permission to do things that they have nothing to do with it. Regardless if you're in a relationship or not, yes, the things you say and the things you do affect other people, but there has to be some sense of independency on things that you like that not the other person has to like. You and the other person don't have to like everything. You might like a show on TV that they don't like. You might like to do an exercise that they don't like. You might like to eat something they don't like. If you and the other person are the exact same, then prepare for a lot of common things. Don't expect a lot of changes. Don't expect a lot of excitement in your life. But then again, if it's exciting for you to be mundane, if it's exciting for you to be the same, if it's exciting for you to do the continuous actions time and time again, then it's up to you. Hey, whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles the pickle. Like I said, whatever makes you happy, hey, make it snappy. That's all. Get it over with, People that scream at you at the top of their lungs, that's another form of manipulation. When they are exploiting your weakness. There's people that will fight back and be like, hold up a second, you're not going to talk to me like that. When somebody raises their voice, you might want to let them vent, as long as they're not disrespectful. But you got to understand that you're absorbing that type of negativity. You have to understand that it is being embedded inside of you, whether you like it or not. You can say that you're not allowing it to affect you, but it is seeping through your pores. It is seeping through your brain. It is going into your subconscious. It is going into your conscious. Yes, it is affecting you whether you see it or not. Now, what you let it do to you and how you utilize this, you could put it in the bank of negative information, or you could put it in the bank of experience. It's up to you on how you relate this information and these experiences that you use in the future, you know? There's people that their parents did everything for them. We talked about that. Those are the people that they seem to have this false sense of privilege, you know? Like I said, there's some people that were trained to be princesses all their life, and princes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be a prince all your life. You're going to be a princess. You're never going to grow up to be a king. You're never going to grow up to be a queen. You're always going to be under somebody's thumb. Somebody's always going to pick direction. And when that person is no longer there anymore, you lose all respect because people didn't like you. They liked the person that you was dependent on. So you're dependent on this person so much, and now you don't have them anymore. You don't even have a sense of identity. A lot of people lose their parents quick. And they say, wow, I wish I would have done this more. I wish I would have done that more. I wish I would have done this more. Yeah, woulda, shoulda, coulda. So now is when you have to take responsibility. That way you don't have to take accountability later. We talked about it last week, you know. So for those that are tapping in for the first time today, go back a couple of programs, man, and watch these shows. You don't have to watch them all consecutively. But I guarantee you that you will find something that's relative to your everyday life. Life does not have to be so hard, people. We make it hard. Stop blaming everybody for the things that you feel and the way you do. You can't blame nobody for the way you feel. You know, if you want people to accept the way you feel, stop blaming it. Because if you blame people for the way you feel, then how are they going to accept that? You accept the fact that you feel a certain way and a person contributed to that. But you yourself needs to recognize that you make yourself feel great. You pat yourself in the back for the things that you do. You've dealt with so much crap up until this day. You've dealt with so much. You don't want to pat yourself in the back for that. You don't want to pat yourself in the back that you're still here, you're still going after all this agony, after all this, after everything that you've been through. You ready to give up now? The hard part is over. The pain turns into excitement. The fears turn into anxieties. Anxieties turns into anxiousness. Anxiousness is the butterflies in your stomach that's telling you, hey, something great's about to happen. Let's go. You understand what I'm saying? Look, there's people that didn't do duties in their house. All the chores. Their bills got paid. So then that person is going to want to be in a relationship with someone else that's going to take care of them like their parents or one of the parents took care of them. If they come from a place where everything was done for them, do you really think that they're going to get down and dirty and show a sense of urgency when it comes to displaying effort? No. People usually look for parents or someone that they resemble their parents, some way, shape, or form. You know, girls look for guys that resemble their daddy, regardless if negative or positive, and then guys look for girls that resemble their mother because their mother used to take care of them in such a way, such a kind love. You know, in most cases, not in all, unconditional love. You know, we look for unconditional love with our mate, but when we look for a parent in our mate and we look for unconditional love, we lose because that love has to come with conditions. Your mother, your father will love you through your mistakes, you know, through your files. They'll accept you back with an apology, with a sincere apology. But the person that you're with does not have to continue to forgive you. They won't forget, and it's an accumulated lump sum of things that you've done to this person. And they're not going to give you the same amount of chances that your parents did because your parents will continue to give you chances. Some parents are strict and they'll kick you out the house. They don't want to talk to you no more. That's tough love. Sooner or later, they end up loving you later or you end up speaking. But for the most part, parents have the most tolerance. Don't expect the people that you go outside of your parents to have a relationship with to be like your parents because you're expecting something that's not going to happen and you're going to lose. It's actually a lose-lose situation because you're expecting something from somebody that they could be expecting from you, something that you should be able to give each other. If you want somebody to take care of you in that fashion, you better be ready to give them the same thing because it wouldn't be fair. You know, they say that there's an empath for every narcissistic person and there's a narcissistic person for every empath. Think about what I'm telling you, you know? That felt good. Huh. So, So if you wanna hook up with someone, and I'm not talking about like the opposite sex or someone that you want to date or something. Hook up meaning like go see someone, hang out with someone, be around people that are going to empower you, not enable you to lie and keep secrets. I had a conversation earlier with a friend, and we talked about when people snitch or when people take something that you told them in confidence and they go and they tell somebody else. We cannot control the other person. We can't. And that's the beauty of human nature. That's the difference between manipulating an inanimate object and manipulating a human. That the level of expectation should be bare none. Because we cannot predict human behavior. We don't know what happened to them that day. We don't know what happened to them 3 days ago, 9 days ago. We don't know if they flushed their mental toilet and they're ready to have this conversation with you. We don't know that. We don't know what the situation is. I've talked about checking the weather, checking the temperature before you bring something on. I told you that we have to make sure that the coast is clear, before you perform a situation or bring a conversation to light, something that needs to be discussed, that's important. We talked about that. We have to be able to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? So let's be frank and let's be fair about those things, for real. Okay, let me see. So, all right. When you see people doing good things, we should applaud them. Because what that does is releases us from the hate and the envy. You ever saw an idea and said, man, I thought about that before? Or you ever heard a song and said, I should have wrote that song? Or that song was meant for me? That just tells you that there are other people just like you in this world that are feeling the same thing. Now, was it the singer that wrote the song? Sometimes they don't write the song. So maybe you need to resonate more with the songwriter than the singer. Let's rewind what I just said. If you hear a singer sing a song for the first time, there's a new song, a little meme that's coming out. You're my flower, you're the best thing in my world. This guy has a mustache, he looks like Borat. The song is beautiful. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in a relationship right now, but I don't feel the same way as that song feels, and I want to. I want to feel like that. I want to have someone in my life that I consider worth living a life, a healthy life of mentally free, a systematic spiritualism, a sense of belongingness, of backing each other up, making sure that you become best friends. That's a hard road, man, especially when you've been with someone for a long time and you've been, going through the up and downs, and you went through a lot of crucial moments. In a relationship, one person may grow and the other person may not. And that person that doesn't grow may resent them and feel like that person grew without them and felt like they've been abandoned. So they end up hating you for becoming better because they weren't ready to become better. But here's the funny part. Sometimes when a person elevates more than the other person, the person that didn't elevate it was the one that empowered them or manipulated them to change. Think about what I'm saying. Two people in a relationship, regardless, brother, sister, mother, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, significant other. Two people. One person grew. Now, this person looks down on this person, or does this person go and pull them up? Or will this person allow you to pull them up? They're like, no, I'm not ready to change yet. That wasn't part of my plan. My plan was to change later. Anybody that plans to change later is not going to change. You don't plan to change, you just change. We go cold turkey here. We look at the truth and we say, you know what? This thing has to stop now. I'm not going to start working out on January 1st. I'm not going to start working out. Oh, I'm going to wait till Monday. That's the big thing that everybody says. I'm going to wait till Monday. Yeah, you know what Monday happens? You forget about Monday and you go, no, I meant next Monday. And then something else happens. The unexpected, because life is unexpected. You cannot plan things that should be taken care of immediately. Because then life happens. When you prolong or postpone a positive entity in your life, it won't come. You can't plan to be positive. You just have to sit down and say, I am tired of being tired. I need to start being positive now. Because guess what? there's going to be more manipulation coming your way. There's going to be more negative instances and hatred and envy that come in your way that they don't want you to succeed because they need you to be there. Your misery partner needs you to be there, not to go. How else are they going to ever express negativity? Now, at the same time, don't be so quick to give up on people. Just because you elevated fast doesn't mean that the other person is going to go at the same speed that you are going. And if you care about that person, doesn't mean you have to wait forever. What you're looking for is spurts of growth in one direction. You don't want them to be the same. Hey, a month later, 2 months later, you reevaluate the situation. Hey, since the last time that this happened, where are we with that? Oh, I have a different mindset. Let them talk to you. I have a different mindset. I feel like I've grown. I don't let things bother me as much. Listen to them. Look for changes. Don't be so quick to go and grab something else when what you have right there might just need a nice sense and form of, what is the title of this show? Manipulation. Manipulation. Okay? Don't let anybody tell you that you can't change anything negative into positive. Any negative word that you use, we'll use it in a positive way. It doesn't matter. Why? Because what makes a word positive or negative is the utility of it, right? How we utilize this word, Think about that. Okay, recovery. All right. On the road to recovery, everybody, we are all going through problems. We are all going through hardships. Some are more difficult than others, but remember that there's an equivalency and not an equal. When we start comparing our problems to other people, we're not looking for a consensus, because the truth is, and the common factor is, that we all have problems. Are some problems harder or stronger than others? It depends, because I can deal with certain problems better than other people can, and then there are other things that are easy to other people that to me are so destructive. Stop trying to be like everybody else and learn how you function. Learn how you do things. Learn what your discomfort levels are. Learn them. Be happy about what we do. Be happy about the positive things that we do, and let's stop focusing on the negative. What are we dealing with here? Acknowledgement, awareness, putting ourselves in the best possible position, right? If we love people, then we have to love ourselves and be the best person that we can be so that we can show them that. Some people need to be led by example because they've never had a hero in their life. They've always had people to promise things and never give them. That's a form of manipulation, because you get people's attention and you set false expectations. That is a way to manipulate people. When people do the, when people do the Chango thing, and you go, and then you go, and they get mad. They go, you're so stupid. I'm like, I'm just mimicking you. You understand? Oh, you sound so, oh yeah, but when they do it, it's okay. But when you do it, you look like a fool. So let's stop being fools. Let's start being attentive to the things that we're going through. Why do we continue to blame people for the things that we do? Why do we keep expecting people to be like us? Nobody can be like you. There's only one you in this entire world. There's people that are similar, but to expect someone to be like you is ridiculous. Because if you want people to be just like you, then what you want is a cult. Or maybe you're better off being alone because you don't respect other people's opinions or other people's feelings or other people's voices. You know what I'm saying? Think about what I'm trying to tell you. I just learned what patience was not so long ago. The word patience. I had an idea what it was, but I didn't know that patience is being able to take other people's bullcrap. I don't want patience. I don't want to deal with your bullcrap. You deal with your bullcrap. Or let's deal with your bullcrap together, but let's find a solution. Because I don't want to linger or stay stuck on something that we can find a consensus for and then move forward. Like, listen, we solved that. We ain't got time to be stuck on the same problems forever. There's more problems coming. Use your heightened awareness to understand that the longer you stay stuck on something, the more it will overlap to the next problem that's coming. Do you really think you're going to live the rest of your life problemless? Do you really think that the problem is going to hold and say, oh, hold on. Listen, let's not get involved here. They already got beef. There's already issues. Let's not get involved. I don't want none of that negativity. No, a problem will come in faster than a freight train. And then now you're dealing with more than one problem because you decided to let the other problem linger, and it wasn't even, now the important problem that came in, now you can't even focus because you're still dealing with the problem from before. Let's not overdo things. Let's not overthink things, you know? Like, hey, I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? Again, we're looking for patterns. We're looking for consistent behavior, whether it's negative or positive, because if you install or motivate or manipulate for positive things, then you're smart. Think about this, because people always say, hey, you can use backwards psychology or reverse psychology. Okay, isn't that a form of manipulation? Because you're manipulating a person to think something that's not, or you're playing the role in a different sense so that they can look at it from a different perspective. That's all part of manipulation. Let's be smart about how we manipulate people. Let's try to utilize our noodle. You know, like Pavlov's law, you know, it's all about consistent behavior. You continue to do something and people expect it. But along the way, if you don't teach them how to appreciate it, you're going to end up giving people more of things that they don't appreciate in the first place. Now, a lot of these things we spoke about before, but we have to bring it back because these are the instances that we go back to the past to retract something from the encyclopedia. We add it to our experiences and we put it to work. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Is it easy? Nothing is easy in the beginning. Well, some things are, but most things are not. And here's the problem. People don't want to try things because they feel like it's going to be hard. They don't want to deal with the hard part. But don't you understand that when you do something or you try something and you try to learn something and it's hard in the beginning, the more you do it, the more relative it becomes. It just could be that you're learning how to deal with the discomforts of it, or you might have a bias. Learn these things. What are the blockages that are stopping you from learning or from moving forward? Don't let things linger because you got more problems coming, you know. I don't care how solid your life is. Things happen. People die. People are born. People lose jobs. People gain jobs. People move. What about natural disasters? Are you prepared for a hurricane? Are you prepared for earthquake? Are you prepared for 9/11? No, nobody's prepared for these things. Are you prepared for gusty winds that'll break your house down? Are you prepared for freezing temperatures? Are you afraid of the ice that you slipped on? Are you prepared for money that flew away, money that you lost? Things happen no matter how good you are, you know? Yes, that's a great thing that you're talking about there, Theodore. That's great. Let's take a movie, for instance. Somebody go see a movie. You ask someone, how was it? They go, man, it's the wackest movie I've ever seen in my life. And you're like, wow, I didn't get that. That's disappointing. But you go and see the movie, or maybe you're manipulated into not going to see the movie because you judge or you value this person's opinion. But then you see the movie, either when it's still in the movie, you say, hey, you know what? I want to go see for myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, let's say you go see a movie and the movie is whack. So now you know that this person had a good idea of it, but it's not going to be like that for every movie because there's different types of movie. There's drama, there's action, there's comedy, there's love stories, there's independent films, there's autobiographies. There's a lot of different types of movie genres out there. My thing is this. You might wait to see this movie months down the road, and you might watch it on Netflix or when it comes out on HBO, whatever the case may be, or one of the special channels, and you might think it's one of the greatest movies you've ever seen in your life because you might resonate with it a little bit more. Or could it be that this person went with the wrong person to see the movie? Or could it be that the person wasn't ready to be open-minded about the movie? Because a couple of months passed by, that's enough time for somebody to change their perspective on something. So in other words, you could learn a lot from the way people judge things, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean anything in an absolute manner. The algebraic expressions to life are not always the same, but remember that in order to create balance in an algebraic expression, whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other side in order to create balance. Those are the pros and cons, because what's in the middle of pros and cons? The decisions that we make. Right in the middle of pros and cons are the decisions that we make based on the pros and cons. Are the pros stronger? Are the cons stronger? Can we live with the cons? Are the pros strong enough? Will the cons defeat us in the future? Are there something that we have to continuously put effort into? It might seem like a lot of overthinking, but these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves before we make decisions. We got a few minutes left. I would say we got about, I don't know how many, but I know we're getting close to the end. And I wanted to share a couple of things, that the best thing on earth is loving yourself. And without awareness, you will never understand it, and push yourself to be the best person you could be. But not ignoring other people, because you can learn a lot. That's why they have these books, it's called For Dummies, learn how to do this for dummies, learn how to do that for dummies. A lot of things don't come with instructions, but there's a lot of help out there, and there's a lot of people that you can relate to, and there's a lot of information that you can utilize to help you in almost every situation. The research that you do is very important. Learn as much as you can. Think of all the angles, all the different perspectives. Don't be one-dimensional. Look at it from all points of view, in the box, out the box, from the side of the box, perpendicular, whatever, adjacent, parallel, whatever words you want to use that make you feel better. Just don't look at it in one way. Open your mind to learning about things in the best way that you can. So what's the best thing that we can give people? Confidence. Confidence motivates people. How do we give people confidence? Pat them in the back, man. Be nice. Say hello. Keep it forward. Everybody has an attitude because that's what they expect. How many times are you going to be nice to a person and they go, whatever. I like being nice to people who are mean. You know why? Because when I'm nice to that person, it shows me that I'm not like them. I'm happy that I'm not a disgruntled, person that has like a lot of cats and is mad at the world. I get it. But in order for me not to be like that, I have to be around those people, because if I'm around happy people all the time, whenever I am around someone that's negative or someone that's not in the same light as me, it becomes so uncomfortable that you're not able to deal with it. So you have to keep a balance of good and bad. You can't be around the same thing all the time. You have to be able to expose yourself to the realities of life. Okay, so for all you virtual learners that stay virtual and don't go outside and meet people and see how nasty people can be, you're doing yourself a disservice by avoiding this, because you need to deal with this. You can't avoid it forever. And that's basically my bottom line. Now, the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys is very important, and I need you to pay attention to this. And these are a couple of signs that, I'm going to give you 5 signs of emotional abuse. Whether you're doing the abusing, pay attention to what I'm saying, whether you're doing the abusing or the abuse is coming to you. You could be doing some of these, you could be doing all of these, you could be receiving some of these, you could be receiving all of these. Pay attention. Number 1, if you are part of emotional abuse, they are hypercritical and they have a lot of judgment towards you. An extreme amount of judgment. You this, you ain't that, you ain't this, you ain't that. Hypercritical, that they just like so into you, and they don't even say, I get it because I've been there. It's just you this and you that, you this and you that. Hypercritical. They ignore your boundaries. If you say, listen, I'm not handling this anymore, don't cross that line, and they continue to do that, they don't respect you. That's emotional abuse. When they invade your privacy constantly, that is emotional abuse, because they're looking for something. And if a person doesn't trust you and you're not showing them reason to trust you, then they should leave you, and vice versa. They are possessive and very controlling. That's emotional abuse, because you are subjected to their feelings, and their feelings are more important than anybody else's. And if they, and that goes a little bit towards the narcissism, and if they feel like you're doing something to them, beware, because they're going to attack you from every angle to weaken you and destroy you, because then they like to save you. They like to destroy you, and then they like to save you and act like they're doing you a favor. I picked you up when the pieces were down, but you were the one that broke them. Okay, let's keep it real. They are very manipulative, okay? If you are in an emotional abusive relationship, are you manipulative, or are they manipulative towards you, or is it happens back and forth? And the last thing, and I can't say if this is the most important, but it's something that definitely you cannot ignore. They often dismiss you and your feelings. If you are in an emotional and abusive relationship, or if you are emotionally abusive or emotionally abused, there are dismissal of you and your feelings. They dismiss you, they dismiss your feelings. They tell you, here you go again. They don't listen to you. They tell you that you're not supposed to feel a certain way. They ask you why you feel that way, and then they find reasons to tell you how wrong you are. You can't be wrong about your feelings. If you say you feel a certain way and you're honest about it, then that's how you feel. again, is what you do after your feelings, your reaction, and the way that you speak. You understand what I'm saying? That makes the difference. Think about what I'm telling you. That's what makes the difference, is how you react and what you say. So take the time after things happen before you react. Okay? That being said, we are at the end of the program. Again, I am delighted to be here with you guys. I am so happy to be able to express myself in this way to everyone that's listening and that will listen. The people that have taken my advice and worked with me, they've shown me a tremendous amount of heightened awareness and growth. Kudos to you guys that take my words and understand that I'm not here to change you. I'm not here to control you. I'm here to give you a different perspective. And now I'm going to share with you why I'm wearing these guards right here. Because the clothes that you wear is also another way of manipulating people. If I put on this shirt right here, and I would have opened my shirt a little bit and put a nice Cuban chain, then I would have definitely been putting that persona together. But if you notice, I've been playing with my hat throughout the entire show, and I've been giving different looks, you know what I'm saying? Just to show you that things could be a little bit different, whether you tie this here, whether you open it up, whether you look like a cholo, whether you look like the president, or you look like somebody that's wearing a Versace shirt and it's expensive. You can manipulate people the way you dress, because you could look like $1 million and still have not a penny in your pocket. Nobody has to know that. Nobody has to know that you're broke if you look like $1 million. I guess that's called playing the part, fake it before you make it, which is another sense of manipulation. Not that I'm doing any of those things, but I'm just giving you an example. You know, this is a flashy shirt. This is a shirt that you wear with some slacks and nice crocodile shoes, and you know, and you go out to Atlantic City or you go to a place and you look fly. That's a representation, and it's a form of manipulation. So that being said, from the house of Omega Enterprises, the only house that brings you this show, my name is Omega. The name of the show is P.S. I Love Me. PS stands for problem solving, and I Love Me means that we're going to help each other love each other to the fullest capacity so we could give the best of ourselves to everyone out there and everyone that we love. For those that believe in me, for those that believe in themselves, for those that are growing with me, keep it going. I just dropped a new motivation video on YouTube, and it's doing really well. And it's a very, very tough and strong message for everyone out there. So it's only 8 minutes. Take a chance to give it a chance to resonate with you and to boost your energy levels. I want to wish you all the best. God bless. Love is love. Te quiero mucho. From this house to yours. Peace.